Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
The world of daytime drama is no stranger to shocking twists, but few revelations have the power to shake a show to its very foundation the way the latest General Hospital spoiler has. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, and fans have been dissecting every interaction, every hint, and every odd coincidence on screen. Now, the truth has finally broken through the speculation. Emma Scorpio Drake is Jason Morgan's biological daughter. For longtime fans of the soap, this revelation is not just surprising, it changes the entire history of several beloved characters and sets the stage for emotional fallout that will ripple through Port Charles for years to come. The moment the news surfaces, viewers are forced to revisit the past and reconsider everything they thought they knew about the lives of Jason, Robin, Patrick, and Emma herself. The shocking truth creates layers of drama, tension, and heartbreak, perfectly aligning with General Hospital's legacy of unforgettable storytelling. The implications of Emma being Jason's daughter stretch far beyond the personal lives of the characters directly involved. For Jason, a man who has spent much of his life balancing his violent career as Sonny Corinthos enforcer with his role as a devoted father to Danny and Jake, learning that he has another child will alter his sense of identity once again. Jason has always prided himself on doing right by his children, even when circumstances pull him into danger. But this revelation blindsides him. Jason never knew that Robin's daughter was also his, and the betrayal he feels in realizing the truth was hidden from him is immense. Jason's connection to Robin has always been deep, but complicated. They shared a love that, despite its intensity, was thwarted by circumstance and choices. To learn that their bond produced a child he was never allowed to raise will cut him deeply, forcing him to confront both the love he lost and the years he missed as a father. For Robin, the situation is even more precarious. She has spent years building her life as a doctor, a mother, and someone who often finds herself torn between professional obligations and personal crises. Emma has been her light, the one constant that kept her going through the darkest times, including her long absences from Port Charles when she was presumed dead or when she sacrificed herself to save others. Robin's decision to keep Jason in the dark about Emma's true paternity, whether intentional or born from fear, will ignite explosive confrontations. Why did she choose Patrick as Emma's father? Was it to protect her daughter from Jason's dangerous world? Was it because Jason was presumed dead or lost when Emma was conceived? Or was it simply that Robin felt Patrick would provide a more stable life for Emma? Whatever the reason, Robin now faces the harsh reality that her daughter's sense of self, as well as her relationships with both Jason and Patrick, could shatter. Patrick Drake, the man Emma has always believed to be her father, will suffer perhaps the greatest heartbreak of all. For years, Patrick has been a devoted dad, showering Emma with unconditional love, guidance, and stability. Their father-daughter bond has been one of the most heartwarming aspects of General Hospital, showing a softer side to Patrick while grounding him through tragedy, heartbreak, and romance. To learn that he is not Emma's biological father will devastate him, and the betrayal from Robin for not revealing the truth sooner will create fractures that may never fully heal. At the same time, Patrick's role in Emma's life cannot be erased. Biology may say otherwise, but the years he spent raising Emma and loving her as his own cannot be undone. The question will quickly arise, how does one define fatherhood, through DNA, or through the countless moments of care and love shared over a lifetime? This dilemma will fuel intense emotions for Patrick, Jason, Robin, and Emma as they attempt to navigate the fallout. Emma herself will find her world turned upside down. A teenager on the cusp of adulthood, Emma has always believed she was the daughter of Robin and Patrick. The stability of her family identity, though challenged by Robin's absences and Patrick's struggles, was never questioned at its core. Now, the revelation that Jason is her father will destabilize her sense of self. Questions will swirl in her mind. Who is she, really? How does she fit into the Scorpio Drake family if Patrick isn't her biological dad? How does she connect to Jason's family, including Danny, Jake, and even Sam? The sudden expansion of her identity could overwhelm Emma, leading to storylines that explore her search for belonging and her struggle to redefine herself in light of the shocking truth. Emma's journey of acceptance, anger, and discovery will resonate with viewers who understand the deep importance of identity and family ties. The timing of this revelation could not be more dramatic. General Hospital thrives on secrets coming to light at the worst possible moment, ensuring maximum heartbreak and tension. Perhaps the truth emerges during a medical crisis, when Emma requires a procedure that exposes a genetic incompatibility with Patrick. Or maybe the revelation comes through an enemy who weaponizes the truth, using it to destroy the lives of those involved. No matter how it comes to light, the fallout will be explosive. Jason's relationships will be thrown into chaos. Sam, his current partner, will have to grapple with the reality that Jason shares another deep tie to Robin, his former love. Sam's insecurities may flare as she realizes that Jason now has yet another connection that links him to Robin and the Scorpio family. How Sam responds, whether with support, jealousy, or fear, will determine whether her relationship with Jason survives this storm. Beyond the immediate circle, the revelation has ripple effects across Port Charles. Sonny Corinthos, Jason's lifelong friend and confidant, will no doubt support Jason, but even he may struggle to fully understand the pain Jason feels. Anna Devane, Emma's grandmother, will be shaken to her core. She has always been fiercely protective of Emma and will no doubt be furious that Robin withheld the truth. Anna's reaction could lead to intense confrontations with her daughter, as well as tender moments with Emma as she tries to help her granddaughter navigate this identity crisis. Max Scorpio, who raised Robin as his own daughter, will also be drawn into the conflict, once again playing the role of steady patriarch who tries to bring order to chaos. The entire Scorpio-Drake Devane family dynamic will be tested as the truth forces them to reevaluate everything they thought they knew. This revelation also changes Jason's role within the canvas of Port Charles. Jason has long been defined as a protector, someone whose loyalty to family and friends is unmatched, even when it places him in danger. With Emma now revealed as his daughter, Jason's priorities may shift once again. He may begin to distance himself from Sonny's world of crime, determined to be a more present father in Emma's life. This could create friction between Jason and Sonny, as well as opportunities for Jason to forge new paths in Port Charles, perhaps reconnecting with parts of himself that have long been buried. At the same time, Jason's guilt over missing so many years of Emma's life will haunt him. He will grapple with questions of whether it is too late to step into the role of father, and whether Emma will even want him to. These struggles will provide endless material for future storylines, keeping fans invested in Jason's emotional journey. As the story continues to unfold, the emotional fallout only deepens. Jason, who has always carried an air of quiet strength, finds himself shaken in ways he never expected. For years, his identity was fractured between Jason Quartermaine, the son of privilege, and Jason Morgan, the stoic enforcer who rejected the Quartermaine world. Now, with this revelation, Jason faces yet another split identity, this time as a father who unknowingly abandoned his child. He cannot help but reflect on the years lost, the birthdays missed, and the milestones he never witnessed. Emma's first steps, her first day of school, her first dance, all of it belongs to Patrick's memories, not his. This sense of absence weighs heavily on Jason, fueling both guilt and anger. He struggles to balance his instinct to take action with the painful truth that he cannot reclaim what has already passed. His usual composure crumbles in private, leaving viewers to see a rare vulnerability that adds even more depth to his character. For Robin, the burden of her decision becomes unbearable. She has always considered herself a protector, of Jason, of her daughter, and of the people she loves most. Yet in this situation, her choice to withhold the truth ultimately caused more pain than protection. Robin may attempt to justify her decision, explaining that Jason's dangerous life left her with no choice but to shield Emma from the world of mob wars, gunfire, and constant threats. Still, the rationale does little to ease the fury of those around her. Jason, Patrick, and even Anna may demand to know why Robin believed she had the right to make such a monumental choice alone. Robin's sense of guilt will eat at her, and viewers will likely watch as she attempts to mend fractured relationships while wrestling with her own doubts. Did she truly act in Emma's best interest, or did she make a selfish choice to avoid the complications of sharing a child with Jason? Patrick's heartbreak becomes a central element of the storyline, pulling at the audience's emotions in every scene. For years, Patrick was more than just a father, he was Emma's anchor. From bedtime stories to medical crises, he was the parent who stood by her side. Losing that title, at least in the biological sense, shakes Patrick to the core. He is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth: no matter how much love he poured into raising Emma, he is not her biological parent. This revelation may lead Patrick to question his role not just in Emma's life, but in his own identity as a father. Yet in the midst of the heartbreak, the storyline offers him the chance to redefine fatherhood. Viewers may witness Patrick standing firm, reminding both Emma and the world that while Jason may be her biological father, nothing can erase the years of devotion he gave her. In this way, Patrick embodies the powerful message that family is defined not solely by blood, but by love and commitment. Emma's perspective adds another poignant layer to the drama. As a young woman who has always trusted the foundation of her family, learning that Jason is her biological father feels like a betrayal. She must confront the fact that her mother kept secrets, that her father is not who she thought he was, and that her entire identity has shifted overnight. At first, anger and confusion dominate her reaction. She may lash out at Robin for lying, distance herself from Patrick out of guilt or fear, and hesitate to connect with Jason because he feels like a stranger. Yet beneath the turmoil lies curiosity. Who is Jason? What does it mean to be his daughter? How does she fit into his complicated world? As Emma explores these questions, she may find herself drawn into Jason's orbit, developing a cautious bond that evolves over time. This slow-building relationship could become one of the most emotional and rewarding arcs in the storyline, showcasing Jason's tender side while allowing Emma to grow into her identity. Sam McCall's role in this revelation cannot be understated. As Jason's current partner, she is caught in the crossfire of a past that refuses to stay buried. Sam has weathered countless storms with Jason, from near-death experiences to custody battles, and she has always fought fiercely to keep their family intact. But this new development threatens her sense of security. Suddenly, Jason is linked once more to Robin, a woman whose history with Jason is undeniable. Sam may feel the sting of jealousy and fear that Emma will pull Jason away from their shared life with Danny and Scout. At the same time, Sam's own compassion could emerge, especially if she recognizes the pain Jason feels over the years lost. This inner conflict, between insecurity and loyalty, will test her relationship with Jason. Whether the couple emerges stronger or fractured depends on how much trust and understanding they can muster in the face of this emotional upheaval. The ripple effect extends to Anna Devane, who has always been a pillar of strength in the Scorpio family. As Robin's mother and Emma's grandmother, Anna is both furious and heartbroken. She cannot believe that Robin would keep such a life-altering secret from her, from Patrick, and especially from Emma. Anna's sense of betrayal may drive her to confront Robin in explosive scenes that highlight the generational tension between mother and daughter. At the same time, Anna will no doubt step into a protective role for Emma, offering wisdom and unconditional love. She may also find herself forming a surprising alliance with Jason, recognizing that he too is a victim of Robin's choices. Anna's presence ensures that the storyline remains deeply rooted in family dynamics, balancing anger with compassion as the characters attempt to piece together their new reality. Max Scorpio's reaction adds yet another emotional dimension. Having raised Robin as his own daughter, Mac understands better than anyone the complexities of parenthood beyond biology. His perspective may provide comfort to Patrick, reminding him that being a father is not just about genetics. At the same time, Mac will likely feel deep disappointment in Robin for withholding the truth. His protective instincts toward Emma will flare, and he may clash with Jason as he struggles to accept the man who unknowingly fathered his granddaughter. Yet as the story progresses, Mac's steadying presence will serve as a reminder of resilience, emphasizing that families can endure even the most shocking revelations. The question of how the truth comes to light also plays a crucial role in shaping the drama. Perhaps it is revealed through a DNA test prompted by a medical emergency involving Emma, where doctors realize Patrick is not a genetic match. Or maybe the secret is exposed by a villain who uses the information to manipulate Jason or Robin. The dramatic reveal could occur during a heated confrontation, a hospital crisis, or even a quiet confession from Robin that spirals into chaos. However it happens, the timing ensures maximum emotional impact, leaving no character untouched by the fallout. General Hospital has a long tradition of using medical storylines to drive drama, and this revelation fits perfectly within that tradition. The revelation that Emma is Jason's biological daughter sent shockwaves through Port Charles, unraveling years of secrets, lies, and tangled relationships that had defined the lives of those at the heart of General Hospital. The truth, long buried under layers of deception, emerged in a way that no one could have anticipated, forcing characters to confront their pasts and reshape their futures. the emotional fallout was immediate, rippling through families, friendships, and rivalries as the implications of this bombshell rewrote the dynamics of the town. For years, Emma had been raised as the daughter of Patrick Drake and Robin Scorpio, a couple whose love story had captivated the hearts of many in Port Charles. Their journey was one of resilience, overcoming countless obstacles, from Robin's presumed death to Patrick's struggles with single parenthood. Emma, their bright and spirited daughter, was the symbol of their enduring bond, a beacon of hope in a world often darkened by tragedy. But the discovery that Jason Morgan, the stoic and enigmatic enforcer with a complicated history, was her biological father turned everything upside down. The story began to unfold during a seemingly routine day at General Hospital, where secrets have a way of surfacing when least expected. Robin, who had returned to Port Charles after years of being presumed dead, was grappling with her reintegration into the lives of her loved ones. Her relationship with Patrick had been strained, not only by her prolonged absence but also by the emotional scars left by the events that had separated them. Jason, meanwhile, was navigating his own turbulent path, balancing his loyalty to Sonny Corinthos with his desire to protect his own family, including his sons, Michael and Jake. The bombshell dropped during a heated confrontation at the hospital, where a medical emergency involving Emma brought long-hidden truths to light. Emma had been admitted after a sudden collapse, her condition puzzling the doctors. As tests were run, a routine bloodwork analysis revealed an anomaly that sparked curiosity. Dr. Monica Quartermain, Jason's mother and a veteran physician at the hospital, noticed inconsistencies in Emma's medical records that didn't align with Patrick's or Robin's genetic profiles. What started as a medical mystery quickly escalated into a personal one, as Monica, driven by her instincts, ordered a deeper investigation. The results were staggering. A DNA test, initially conducted to rule out rare genetic conditions, confirmed that Emma's biological father was not Patrick but Jason. The news hit like a thunderbolt, leaving everyone reeling. Robin, who had always believed Patrick was Emma's father, was devastated. Patrick, blindsided by the revelation, struggled to process the betrayal, while Jason, who had no memory of the events that could have led to this, was thrust into a storm of confusion and responsibility. The backstory of how this came to be was as complex as the relationships in Port Charles. Years earlier, during a tumultuous period in Robin's life, she and Jason had grown closer. Both were grappling with their own demons, Robin with the loss of her first love, Stone, and Jason with the aftermath of his accident and memory loss. Their connection, though brief, was intense, born out of shared vulnerability and a need for solace. What neither of them realized at the time was that their fleeting moment of intimacy had resulted in a pregnancy. Robin, unaware of the truth, had assumed Patrick was the father when she later reconciled with him. The revelation forced Robin to confront painful memories. She had never intended to deceive anyone, but the gaps in her own understanding of that chaotic time in her life left her questioning everything. Her guilt was palpable, as she struggled to explain to Patrick how she could have been unaware of the truth. Patrick, for his part, was torn between his love for Emma and the sting of betrayal. He had raised Emma as his own, pouring his heart into being her father, only to learn that the biological connection he thought he had was a lie. Jason, too, was grappling with the weight of the news. As a man who had always prioritized family, the idea that he had a daughter he never knew about was both a gift and a burden. His relationship with Emma had always been distant, as she was part of Patrick and Robin's world, not his. Now, he faced the daunting task of redefining his role in her life while respecting the family unit she had grown up in. His own past, marked by danger and loss, made him question whether he could even be the father Emma deserved. The ripple effects of the revelation extended far beyond the immediate players. Sam McCall, Jason's wife, was forced to confront her own feelings about this unexpected addition to their family. Sam had always been a fierce protector of her own children, and the idea of Jason having another child, one tied to Robin, no less, stirred up old insecurities. Their marriage, already tested by Jason's dangerous lifestyle, faced new challenges as they navigated this uncharted territory. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos, Jason's best friend and boss, found himself drawn into the drama. As a father himself, Sonny understood the complexities of family ties, but he also saw the potential for this revelation to destabilize Jason's focus. With tensions rising in Port Charles due to ongoing mob conflicts, Sonny needed Jason at his side more than ever. Yet, he couldn't ignore the personal toll this was taking on his friend. the Quartermain family, too, was pulled into the fray. Monica, overjoyed at the prospect of another grandchild, saw this as an opportunity to bring Jason closer to the family he had often kept at arm's length. However, her enthusiasm was met with resistance from Jason, who was wary of pulling Emma into the Quartermain orbit with its own share of dysfunction and power struggles. As the news spread, the residents of Port Charles took sides, as they often did when scandal erupted. Some sympathized with Patrick, seeing him as the wronged party who had loved and raised Emma without question. Others felt for Robin, who was caught in a web of circumstances she hadn't fully understood at the time. Jason, as always, was a polarizing figure. Some saw him as a victim of circumstance, while others viewed his involvement as yet another complication in his already chaotic life. Emma, at the center of it all, was struggling to make sense of the truth. At her young age, the concept of biological versus chosen family was difficult to grasp. She adored Patrick, who had been her father in every way that mattered, but the idea of Jason as her biological father introduced a new dynamic she wasn't prepared for. Her confusion was compounded by the tension between the adults in her life, as she sensed the strain this revelation was placing on her family. The hospital, as always, served as the backdrop for much of the drama. General Hospital was more than just a workplace for these characters, it was a crucible where their lives intersected, where secrets were uncovered, and where healing, both physical and emotional, was sought. The staff, from nurses to doctors, couldn't help but be drawn into the gossip, as whispers of Emma's paternity spread through the halls. Elizabeth Weber, a close friend of both Jason and Robin, found herself caught in the middle, trying to offer support while navigating her own complicated history with Jason. As weeks passed, the characters began to grapple with how to move forward. Robin and Patrick's relationship, already fragile, faced its greatest test yet. Could they find a way to rebuild trust, or would this revelation be the final fracture in their love story? Jason, meanwhile, was determined to do right by Emma, but he struggled with how to approach a daughter who barely knew him. He sought advice from unlikely sources, including Carly Corinthos, whose own life had been shaped by complicated family ties. Carly, never one to shy away from drama, threw herself into the situation with her characteristic intensity. She saw Jason's pain and wanted to protect him, but she also recognized the importance of Emma in his life. Her own history with secrets and lies made her a surprisingly empathetic confidant, though her involvement only added fuel to the fire for those who felt she was meddling in matters that didn't concern her. The legal ramifications of the revelation also began to surface. Questions arose about custody, inheritance, and Emma's place in the Quartermain family legacy. Monica, ever the matriarch, was determined to ensure Emma was recognized as a Quartermain, but Jason resisted, not wanting to uproot Emma's life any further. Patrick, meanwhile, was adamant that his role as Emma's father would not be diminished, regardless of biology. As the town grappled with the fallout, new alliances formed, and old wounds were reopened. Spinelli, Jason's loyal friend and tech genius, dove into the mystery of how the truth had been hidden for so long, uncovering clues about a possible cover-up that went beyond Robin's own misunderstanding. His investigation pointed to manipulations by outside forces, raising questions about who else might have known the truth and why they kept it hidden. The emotional toll on Emma was perhaps the most heart-wrenching aspect of the story. As she navigated her feelings, she found solace in unexpected places. Her grandmother, Anna Devane, a seasoned spy with a fierce love for her family, became a pillar of support, helping Emma process her emotions. Anna's own history with secrets and betrayals gave her a unique perspective, and she worked tirelessly to shield Emma from the worst of the adult conflicts swirling around her. The revelation also had a profound impact on the broader canvas of Port Charles. Friendships were tested, loyalties shifted, and the delicate balance of power in the town was thrown into disarray. As the characters grappled with their new reality, they were forced to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and their relationships. For some, it was an opportunity for growth and healing, for others, it was a catalyst for further conflict. In the end, the truth about Emma's paternity was more than just a plot twist, it was a mirror held up to the characters, reflecting their strengths, flaws, and the unbreakable bonds that tied them together. Port Charles, with its endless cycle of drama and redemption, would never be the same, but its residents would find a way to move forward, as they always did, in the face of life's most unexpected revelations. The story of Emma's true parentage continued to unfold, with each character grappling with their role in this new chapter. For Jason, it was a chance to embrace a part of himself he had long buried, the part that longed for family, for connection, for a legacy beyond the violence that had defined so much of his life. For Robin, it was a journey of forgiveness, both for herself and for those who had been caught up in the web of her past. For Patrick, it was a test of his love for Emma and his ability to redefine what it meant to be her father. As the days turned into weeks, the residents of Port Charles began to find their footing, slowly piecing together the fragments of their lives in the wake of the revelation. The hospital, as always, remained the beating heart of the community, a place where lives were saved, secrets were uncovered, and families were redefined. The truth about Emma had changed everything, but it also reminded everyone that in Port Charles, love, loyalty, and resilience could overcome even the most shocking of truths. As the reverberations of the truth echo across Port Charles, the relationships between the characters evolve in unpredictable ways. Jason's stoic facade begins to crack more frequently, exposing the depth of his pain and longing. For a man who has always put others before himself, the realization that he was denied the chance to raise his own daughter leaves him grappling with resentment he doesn't know how to process. At the same time, Jason's innate sense of loyalty pushes him to prioritize Emma's emotional well-being above his own feelings. He doesn't want to force himself into her life or create more turmoil for her. Instead, he wrestles with how to approach her gently, giving her space to process while silently yearning for her acceptance. This internal conflict highlights a side of Jason fans rarely see, a vulnerable, tentative man unsure of his next move. His usual confidence in dangerous situations does little to help him navigate the fragile terrain of fatherhood he has been thrust into overnight. Emma's reaction becomes increasingly complex as she processes the truth. At first, she may resist Jason entirely, angry that he feels like a stranger who suddenly has a claim on her life. She could accuse her mother of deception, Patrick of unknowingly living a lie, and Jason of being an intruder in the family she has always known. Yet beneath the anger, Emma is curious. She knows Jason's reputation in Port Charles, his loyalty, his strength, his courage, and she wonders what it means to carry his bloodline. Emma may find herself comparing traits she has always thought came from Patrick with qualities that now appear linked to Jason. Perhaps her fierce determination or her calm under pressure suddenly feels less like coincidence and more like inheritance. This exploration allows Emma to carve out her identity in a new way, giving her the chance to grow not only as a character but also as a young woman searching for her place in the world. Patrick's turmoil deepens as the story stretches on. While he knows Emma will always see him as the man who raised her, Patrick struggles with the fear of being replaced. Every moment Jason spends with Emma feels like a threat to the bond Patrick fought so hard to build. He may even begin questioning his worth as a father, haunted by the thought that Emma could someday turn away from him in favor of Jason. This insecurity could drive Patrick to lash out, perhaps unfairly, at both Robin and Jason. Yet Patrick's enduring love for Emma prevents him from walking away. Viewers will likely see him reaffirm his commitment to her, showing that fatherhood is not erased by DNA. His journey reflects the painful truth that parenthood is often less about biology and more about the choices and sacrifices made daily. This perspective may eventually allow Patrick to reconcile his place in Emma's life, but not before a period of bitterness and doubt that threatens to consume him. For Robin, the guilt grows heavier with every passing day. Her decision to hide Emma's paternity was born out of love and fear, but now she must face the reality of the damage it caused. Robin may attempt to defend herself by pointing to Jason's dangerous lifestyle, but even she knows the explanation cannot fully justify years of secrecy. Her relationship with Patrick fractures under the weight of betrayal, and her bond with Jason is tainted by mistrust. Most devastating of all, Emma's anger forces Robin to face the possibility of losing her daughter's trust entirely. Robin's storyline becomes one of redemption, as she attempts to repair the wreckage of her choices while proving to Emma that her love has never wavered. The road to forgiveness will be long and fraught with setbacks, but it also provides Robin the opportunity to confront her own flaws and emerge stronger. Sam's arc becomes one of the most dramatic side plots, as she navigates the storm of emotions this revelation unleashes. On one hand, she empathizes with Jason's grief and longs to support him as he bonds with Emma. On the other, she cannot ignore the unease that comes from watching him reconnect with Robin through their daughter. Old feelings and unresolved chemistry between Jason and Robin may resurface, whether intentionally or simply through the bond of shared parenthood. This places Sam in an incredibly vulnerable position, forcing her to question whether Jason's heart truly belongs to her or if part of him will always be tied to Robin. Sam's jealousy may cause tension in her relationship with Jason, creating opportunities for heartfelt confrontations where both characters must decide how much trust and commitment they are willing to give. The drama between Jason, Sam, and Robin ensures that the storyline resonates not just as a family revelation but also as a romantic complication with high stakes. Anna Devane's involvement continues to provide gravitas and emotional intensity. For Anna, the betrayal is layered. Her daughter lied to her, her granddaughter was kept in the dark, and Jason was denied his rights as a father. Anna's anger toward Robin is fierce, but it is tempered by her desire to protect Emma. She steps in as a guiding figure, helping Emma navigate her confusion while encouraging her to keep her heart open to both Patrick and Jason. Anna's interactions with Jason also offer poignant moments, as she recognizes the sincerity of his pain and perhaps even advocates for his right to be a father to Emma. In many ways, Anna becomes the moral compass of the storyline, reminding every character of the importance of truth, forgiveness, and love even in the face of betrayal. The impact of this revelation on Jason's broader life cannot be ignored. As he becomes more involved with Emma, Jason's priorities begin to shift. His loyalty to Sunny and his role in the mob world start to feel incompatible with his desire to be present in his daughter's life. Jason may begin questioning whether the danger he courts daily is worth the risk to Emma's safety. This internal struggle could spark a major turning point in Jason's arc, perhaps even leading him to distance himself from Sunny's business. Such a move would not only redefine Jason's character but also create ripple effects throughout Port Charles. Sunny may feel abandoned, Carly may be torn between supporting Jason and protecting Sunny, and the balance of power in the underworld could be shaken. Emma's existence doesn't just alter Jason's personal life, it has the potential to reshape the entire fabric of Port Charles. Emma's integration into Jason's world also brings her into contact with his other children, creating new dynamics ripe for exploration. Danny and Jake must adjust to the idea of having an older half-sister, while Scout, though younger, will eventually grow into this expanded family unit. The blending of these families creates opportunities for both tension and warmth, as the children forge bonds that reflect their father's complicated history. Emma may feel pressure to fit into this new world while also remaining loyal to Patrick and the life she has always known. This push and pull between her old identity and her new one creates a rich vein of storytelling that keeps viewers invested in her journey. The possibility of external forces exploiting this revelation also looms large. Villains in Port Charles have never shied away from using personal secrets to their advantage, and Emma's paternity provides the perfect weapon. Enemies of Jason or Robin could target Emma to manipulate or punish them, placing her in danger and forcing Jason to confront his greatest fear, losing another child. Such threats would heighten the drama, reinforcing the stakes of the storyline and reminding viewers of the dangers that come with being connected to Jason Morgan. In this way, the revelation not only impacts family dynamics but also raises the level of suspense and action within the show.